Okay, I think now we are live on YouTube. So, hi everyone, I'm Mel Tavares. I'm from São Paulo. I live here. I like to study languages. I like to go to the beach. I like eating, and I like animals too. What about you, Erica? Can you introduce yourself for us?
Sure. Good morning. I'm Erica. I live in Belo Horizonte, Minas Gerais. I love cooking, reading, listening to music, sometimes go to the gym, and swimming. And I've been here in Talk and Talk for a month in order to improve my English conversation. Thank you.
Very nice. And how about you, Osvaldo?
Well, I'm here in Talk since last May, and the end of the last May, so I'm here for almost two months. Um, I live in São Paulo State, Americana City, with my fiance and a stepson. And I have two sons that don't live with me about my first marriage. Let me see. Um, I really like to learn about everything that is possible. um, for example, about my hobbies, I try to sometimes change my hobbies. For example, I like to play games, but I change the games genre along the time. And I try to learn a lot about that. And I'm software developer in a payment startup, payment method startup. Uh, I've been working as developer since 2020, and I'm working on that company a little for 2 years and 3 months, right? And I'm on vacation. And the topic we will talk some minutes after this. It's hard for me because I've just uh, I've just deceived about a side project last weekend. I was kicked on my uh, side project, and I will try to talk about this in English, but it's hard to talk about for me yet because I'm feeling so bad about that. But let's do it, and
If you
that's it.
want to, you can talk about other experiences and let that aside for a while until
I think
you're okay with the situation.
okay, I will try to talk in English, but it's harder to talk about this topic in English in this moment because I'm not fluent, and uh, the feelings is uh, pesado. A fé is strong. The bad feelings are strong, but I think it's interesting to share. I don't have problem to share this because I know that I did right. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're very good at English. Like you have a way to speak and also you have all
Thank you,
this
Mel.
flowing thing. Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you.
So guys, I'm going to introduce a little bit the platform and then we can start, okay?
Okay.
So Talk and Talk is a platform where we can practice our English, Spanish, Italian, French, and Mandarin skills. Here we have all of these immersions. I'm not a teacher. I'm not going to teach you anything, but you guys are going to learn a lot from the conversation. So here we are not here to make mistakes. No, sorry. I'm sorry. We are not here to judge anybody. We are here to make mistakes. We are here to express ourselves the best way we can. And that's it about it. So let's just have a great time together and try to answer the questions. We don't have to follow all the questions like exactly how they are. We can ask other questions and that's okay. So let's just move on to the first question. Is it important to take on tasks when you don't feel fully prepared? What do you think, Erika?
I think it depends on the tasks. because if you don't feel fully prepared for the task, maybe you don't can do it very well, the task. But at the same time, I think no one is 100% prepared for something. So maybe you can be prepared in the way of the tasks. I think it's important you overcome your fear and try to do it. I think this is important. How about you, Osvaldo?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Erica. Depends of the task, and I will add that that depend of the our environment, right? If you are working in a company that has a welcoming culture, for example, maybe you will be able to try to do that task with let me see, with sometimes a kind of leader to guide us and help us to uh, finish that task as better as possible, right? Uh, and let me see. In my case, I when I since I've been worked as a developer, I've been worked in a welcoming environment, right? So I could try to build some solutions about my job almost of the time. So I have opportunities to exercise my capacity to learning, right? I think that's it. And how about you, Mel?
Yeah, what you said, what Erica said, I think it's a thing that I believe too. Like, we're not always prepared, we do not always feel fully prepared for something. So if it's not just at work, like in life in general, we're not able to feel fully prepared for something. Like, I think there's always uh, uh, some insecurities about the situation, but that we can be the most prepared as we can, like for a project at work. We can prepare ourselves, study about the project, and do what we can do to be prepared. And then the when you start the project, you will kind of um, get the way of doing it. You get the the fully experience okay with it while you're doing it. So it's kind of it's a process. Yeah, it's a process. In the beginning, it looks like it's not going to do anything with it. It's not going to be good because you don't know everything about it, but it's going to work, to be worth it, you know. So that's what I think. Osvaldo, can you read it and answer the next question, number two?
Okay, let's do it. How does stepping out of your comfort zone contribute to personal growth? Um, well, I consider myself a person that try to uh, get out of my comfort zone because, um, for example, I worked as some business in my life. I worked with IT career employ. I was a IT employer for 14 years, almost 14 years. Um, and I had three small business, one about financial. I was a day trader some years ago. I had bus line. I don't know how can I say that. I tive micro-ônibus. linha de micrônibus. And let me see what else. Another one. Oh, I was working on a side project for a year that I was talking about in my presentation. It was another business, right? And nowadays I have been working on my main job, my developer job, and I invested and I'm investing, right? I like this topic too, so I have some kind of ações and renda fixa. I don't know how can I say that in English. Let me see. Yeah. I think it's important out of our comfort zone but it's hard because we feel fear about that, right? But I try to get out of my comfort zone always as possible, and that's it.
Yeah, very nice. I agree with you. I think it's important, but it's even more important to get out of it, because I think it's something we can, if we are at the comfort zone, we're not being able to grow up, we're not being able to develop ourselves in so many ways. So it's always important to try to grow up, if the environment that you are is not favorable to make you grow up, maybe to try to change it. If it's
Okay,
like,
if
go ahead.
when you finish, I'm sorry, can I add another
Sure,
note? Go ahead,
sure.
please. I add after you. I'm sorry.
No, okay. Do you want to say no? You can.
Okay, just a little side note that when I um changed my career, I sold my older business, my bus line business, uh, and I put part of that money to pay my year, to pay bills for a year, and I studied uh, along that year. That year was 2019. I was studying to be developer, and I've I've ever I'm sorry. I had and I had that my sons. I had my sons. I've had my sons in that time by the time, right? And it was hard to make that decision, but I did, and I'm here working with this for 4 years, almost 4 years, and that's it.
Yeah, very nice that you had this vision, right?
Yeah, it was hard, but I decided to try.
Yeah, I think it's always like that. We always, when it's something new, we always think it's hard to try to. It's always difficult to begin. We are afraid to fail, so we don't want to go through bad experience. So we avoid it the maximum, the best, the most that we can. And yeah, that's it. But to get out of the comfort zone, like every day, even though it's just by doing simple things. Recently, I started, it's not so recently, but I started to drink coffee without sugar. So it's like black coffee. And now it's something really normal for me. And it's nice. I had this experience that the person, that's nice for me. The person asks, Mel, do you want some coffee? Do you want it with sugar or adoçante? And I, with nothing. So that was kind of a shock, and I liked it.
Oh, my fiance has the same habit too,
Yeah, that's
and
nice.
I don't believe how both of you can do it.
No, it's easy now. But in the moment, yeah, that's the point. In the beginning, it's difficult, but then you get used to it with the pain, kind of it. But then you have to push and push more, like to get out even and even more out of your comfort zone, you know. So that's it. What about you, Erica? How do you see it?
I believe I can grow up and when I leave my comfort zone as well. But sometimes I think when you said about comfort zone, is about my feeling that I place that I'm I'm here. So, but sometimes the environment, the place, the condition could be so adverse. I don't know, this word is correct. And sometimes you can grow up in this kind of environment, but you can get some trauma. I don't know if you can understand me, because when you said before, you don't drink coffee if sugar. Me too. I don't drink coffee with sugar. My milk is skimmed, but it's my goal about my life that I'd like to have for my health. But at the same time, when you talk about comfort zone, sometimes you are pushing in this out of the comfort zone, but not for yourself, but by others. And it's not comfortable because maybe you are not prepared for this in that moment. So I can grow up, but I believe as well that I can grow up if myself. I can learn not only if my mistakes. I can learn by myself, not only if mistakes. I can just study, I can just practice. Okay, everyone commit mistakes, but sometimes some kind of mistakes, like in the when you think about the professional life, sometimes you can't do some mistakes because you are an employee. So if you can, maybe you can lose your job. I don't know. So it's important to talk about comfort zone, but I feel sometimes the comfort zone is the place that I think that I don't feel comfortable. It's about myself. But the main time is not about myself, but the place that people put me on. Did you understand my point of view? So for me, yes, I can grow up, but sometimes it's so hard. The process that you should follow until grow up should be maybe it's so hard you can get some trauma because today so common, actually so common people said, my the place that I work is so toxic. There is no good people there. So you are in a place without your comfort zone. So because respect, I think is not about comfort zone. Every place you should be respected, but sometimes be out of your comfort zone is something like that. That's all. I talk
Yeah.
too much.
No, you don't. We are here to talk, to explain our thoughts, and that's why we are here. So let's that's a good point of view. It's different one, and that it's important to recognize. So, Erica, can you read and answer the next question, number 3?
Number three, can overcoming imposter syndrome boost confidence in facing new challenge? I think so. I think it's about your feeling about yourself, and I always think that I can do everything that I'd like to do. Maybe if I can't get good results, but I think it is about this question is about the self-esteem. When people said I have the imposter syndrome, is about lack of self-esteem. I think so. But if you have a lack of self-esteem, you should treat it. Try some therapy. I don't know. maybe. But I think I don't have this kind of syndrome. So I'm not I didn't think about this. But for me, everything is possible when you have opportunity to do, when you push you to do something that you would like to do. What about yourself, Osvaldo?
Yeah, you said very nice things, Eric. Um, I agree with you. But I will add my a positive view, a little bit of positive view, because I'm trying to be a person that try uh, to be the most realistic as I can to do, because I've seen some people's lost jobs, or had a day-to-day work problems, because some people tell to their boss that will that could make a determinate task and don't finish that, and it's hard because sometimes in my year, I try to say in my year, when I say that I will finish some task in some time, for example, in some time, for example, when we don't finish that in that time, it's hard because the business people involved in that, um, uh, how can I say, promise for all the stakeholders. Do you know stakeholders? Yeah, about when the task will be finished, and maybe the company or the business could have prejuízo. Um, and let me see. Yeah, it also I try to do a balance about my confidence and the realistic view, right? So a curious note to finish my talk is when I was hired to my current job. I was hired to be a medium level developer, right? And I was unbelievable about that because I remember when I started in this job, I had let me see, 6 months with experience in that technology, and I talked about that with my uh, with the person that hired me, right? And he said for me, he advised for me that he considered that I was a mid-level developer, and advised me to try don't take this syndrome on my life, right? Because in let me see, in on the vision of him, I the a processo de contratação was show him that I was possible to do that work, right? And that's it. But I'm not. I feel I'm not. I don't have this syndrome, right?
Okay. Yeah,
And you know.
sometimes it happens to me, like, to think, am I there's a word. Am I should I really have that? Like, is that really for me? Because I don't think if I don't know. sometimes it's not it's just sometimes, but it can happen depending on the situation. And that's something we have. Oh, if we don't have, that's a great point. But if we have that, we should always try to get over it, overcome it, because it's not like that we are always merecedor of that things, of that situation. If that's something really good, it's not um an error, like it was meant to be to another person. No, it was meant to be yours. So it was meant to be in your life, and that's what we should just accept and try to do always, the best that we can, everything that we can to achieve our goals. And then this syndrome, imposter syndrome, will you will get over it along the way. And it's not easy, but we can do that. It's just something that we can try to get over it, and to have conscious that we have it, and to get over it. Just if you need help, that's okay too, to talk with a specialist, like a therapist too, as Erica said. But that's it. That's just how I see it. And what Osvaldo said and Erica, like the opposite sides sometimes, like, yeah, it can happen just by you being as the employee, and you feel that syndrome, but okay, you try to do the task. But in the other hand, there is the enterprise, I'm not wrong, with the superiors who expect you something, who expect you to finish the task and to do what you said you would do. So even though you feel that tension, that stress, you can do that, you can handle that. If you know this is possible for you, it's not something really crazy, you can do that, you can handle that, and you should just relax a little bit and try to do the best that you can. So
But
that's it.
guys, I'm thinking about more this question. I think when you think about imposter syndrome, is about you don't feel good enough to do what you do, right? And when I got my current job, I thought at the time, oh, what I'm here, I don't feel good enough to be there. But after that, I thought if we have the selection and people choose me to be here, if it is because I have good qualities to be here, right? And but I don't feel that I should be perfect in the whole time. I should be my best in my job. And so, because I think today people get the high goals in the professional careers, is good, it's not bad, but I think it's important you go step by step, because if you are here, your goal is here, so maybe of course you get more time to get the high goals. So people sometimes feel frustrated. I think frustrated is related to imposter syndrome, because you always think I'm not good enough. Some people can stole my place here. So I think it's important to think about that. It's important to improve our self-esteem. That's it all.
You're completely
That's
right, Ed.
very true, yeah. And that's important that you mentioned. Like, it's so nice when somebody recognizes, like, choose us to be in a to have an important role in a project, in a meeting, I don't know, anything. And that's really nice. So, but we should not always um have this as the unique support. You have to be there, you have to be good for yourself, with yourself, not just depending on what people think about you. If the other person thinks that you are bad, you're going to feel that too. No, you have to be good with you. And if somebody recognizes you, as in this case, that's just a proof that you are in the right way, in the right path to achieve that, to be a better person. And so you're not like an imposter in that situation. You're just being yourself and doing the best that you can. So that's it.
Yeah, and to finish, I have to say that depends of our environment too, because I try to work in companies that promote our grow up, right? And I think it's important for us to trying to work in this environment, right?
Yeah.
Because if we work in an environment that like Erica said, it's hard for us to grow up and try to do some things that maybe we are not able to do. That is that kind of the environment put us a kind of fear, yeah, on ourselves.
Yeah, and it's linked to the responsibility that you're going to have there. So you don't think you're able to have that responsibility. You're not able to finish the task and all. So that's very true.
My
I think we all
career,
agree.
yeah, in my job, I have both of the opportunities. I have to do tasks that I don't have chance to make mistake, and another task is that I can learn about something and try to do that. It's
Yeah,
important.
nice. Yeah, that's great. So let's move on to the fourth question. When would you suggest pushing past your perceived limits? When would you suggest pushing past your perceived limits? What do you think about it, Osvaldo?
Well, when we are on an environment that improve our growth, right? I think it's one of the most important things. And when we really want to do that, like Erica said, it's important for us that tasks and our job is about our life too, because if the company goals and our personal goals haven't are not aligned, um, it's hard to do some things in some time, right? So I would say that I have to say that in my area, for example, we have opportunity to test some and learning some topics with side projects. I don't know about another areas, but with development, it is possible, and I try to do that always I can, right? So, for example, I finished a course in last January this year, and I studied for a year English course about mobile development. Uh, and I decided to do that. It was hard because the language, because the course was in English, the first point, and I've made a lot of projects to test and learn, right? In my area is possible. If you could do that, it's a good way to learn and test some many topics. And that's it. And for you, Mel, what do you think about that?
Let me see what I'm going to ask. Oh, what I'm going to say. Yeah, I think we should. We, I, I think I would suggest pushing past my perceived limits when I already achieved them. Because the limits, um limits. Oh no, sorry. I think it depends on the situation, because it's not everything that we should like get get out of the limits, get even more, do even more than the limits that we had before. But so it depends on the situation. Sometimes we can extrapolar the limits just to everything basically, and that's not healthy for us. We have to take care of ourselves in the first place. So that's what I think. It depends on the situation, but it can happen sometimes when you have to change a little bit the limits that you have, so you can get do what you have to do and deal with what you have to deal with. So that's it. What about you, Erica?
Um, I think when I decided to get myself in another another place, in another step. But as Mel said, I think it is important too you increase your limits. So it's not about overcome the limits, but you can increase your limits. You can try to do your best in the new limit that you choose, but I think this question is important because you are talking about the comfort zone. So I guess when I get out of my comfort zone, I already overcome my limits, and it's important in order to grow up as well. So my suggestion is when you get to one goal, you should make another goal, and go ahead. That's it.
Yeah, if you achieved one goal, you go to another goal, and that's how it works.
It's
So
about
that's
that.
fine.
We are here to improve our speaking, our confidence to speaking. So we are trying to achieve that goal, for example.
Yeah, you're right, Oswald. But I was thinking about this platform talk because speaking English is not like speaking Portuguese. I speak in Portuguese with more confidence because I'm a Brazilian native speakers. But here I feel I'm in my comfort zone because people here don't judge me, don't correct me. So, do you understand my point? I'm
Yeah, it's
doing
very nice.
something to improve my skill, my English skills, but I still in my comfort zone. But if you get me and put in another environment, maybe, of course, I won't feel comfortable there. And my improvement, my achievement, I want to achieve something more that I'm doing here,
I
I'm
feel
getting
some,
here. So
I
it's
feel some like
important.
that to you, but I feel uncomfortable too. I have to say because I have to say that I've never talked in English a long time that I'm talking now, right? So I get some fico coçando. I get uncomfortable ways, but I really like to be here like you, Erica. It's very nice. I agree with you.
But you are going well. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah, it's just different environments, positions, and that one doesn't invalidate the other. So if you want to have both, you can just go like different environments and try something new. Maybe that can help to, I don't know, something can happen there, right? Maybe that's something we just didn't figure it out, and now we have this possibility.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah. This point about correct ourselves is it's one of the most important point I'm thinking about talk because we can try and don't need to be afraid if someone correct all of us, right? It's make us to feel with more confidence to try to speaking.
Yeah, I think that's so. Like, even though we're not saying everything 100% correctly, we are here. We speak with more confidence than saying a little bit, and then asking if that's all right, if that's the word, the sentence is correct. No, we are here, and I think that's part of it, the process. So even though we are not saying everything correctly, we get more confidence in the process. So yeah, very nice.
And when you get confident in the process, you can talk with other people, right, Oswald? So I think it's important you start in one point. After that, you go to another place. I think it's like a kid. You should start walking, but one day you can fly, but it's important to start in a place that you feel safe and comfortable. Not only stay here, I think it's not enough. But for starting, I think it's so important this platform.
For sure.
Yeah, that's nice. So let's move on to the next question, number 5. Osvaldo, can you read it and answer?
Okay. What techniques can project confidence in professional settings? Well, let me see. I think I don't know if we have some technicals because, in my opinion, we have to know that we can do something, right? Almost of all, I will correct, I will fix that. Everyone can learn and teach and do everything you want, like Erika said some minutes ago. We have to think in that way, in my opinion, because at the same time we have to know in our degrau we are in that moment, like Erika said two minutes ago. So for me, the most important thing is to think we can do that. We can do that and try to be in a safe environment, like talk, for example, or depend of the job context, company context too. Like I said, I have opportunity to work with the both of situations. Uh, I have to finish important tasks and I have to finish new featured tasks, right? I think that's it. And for you, Mel?
I think it's totally related to what we said about the self-esteem, because if we're not confident about ourselves, we're not going to be confident in anything, in any task, in any situation, basically. So we have to be good with ourselves. We have to understand ourselves. And even though it's difficult, it's hard, it takes time until we can really understand how we work and our thoughts and all. It's something that we shouldn't quit doing. And in this case, for example, talking about more like visual things, like wearing appropriate um, clothes, so you won't be a different person in the middle of an specific environment. So you are just like the other people, the level there, and then you can just be together and not feel excluded. You know, you can feel part of the people there, and you can, you know, to make um, friendships more easily. And that's it, with the confidence that you have, because you have the self-esteem, and all of that contributes to having a good um, confidence in professional life, for example. So that's it, what I think. What do you think, Erika?
In my case, in my area, I think it's so important to know how to manage people. I don't know if it's correct way to say manage people, but for me, the skills about speaking public, how to treat people, like you said. I can't treat people at the same way because people aren't equal. So in place that I work, there are many human, many kids. So sometimes I should deal with some conflicts. So I should be brave and take care, because sometimes I didn't understand what had happened. So I can't decide anything at the moment. So I think the most important thing that I should say here in my area is how to treat people. So I think it's a big challenge, and is a people said today is a soft skills that I try to develop every single day. And yeah, but it is a process. It's not something that you can be ready in some moments. You always improving your techniques to get more confidence in your professional life. So but it's important to treat people with respect. It's not about techniques, but sometimes as you don't know the as you don't know the all people, you should be careful with each one, because you can commit mistakes. So sometimes some mistakes are so problematic. So for me, the techniques that I'd like to say is everyone should to know how to manage people, how can you deal with conflicts, and it's so important. That's it all.
I totally agree with you. I couldn't agree more, basically. And that's it. We are talking about people. We are talking about feelings, and even though in the professional area, it's people. You know, we don't have to treat everybody as the same person. So everyone is the same. They're just machines. No, they are people. They are working in the same company, that's the word, and they have to be well treated, you know, by the people in each between each other too, so everybody can have a good experience in the job, in the whole thing. So that's it, guys. Someone wanna say something more, wanna add something? Go ahead.
No, my signer, it's not. No, no,
No,
no.
okay. I
I'm
thought it's
sorry. I'm sorry.
no problem. Okay, very nice, guys. So now we have less than 10 minutes, less than 7 minutes. And I want to ask you something, guys. It's not on the list, but I would like everybody to answer the question, okay? What did you learn today? It doesn't have to be about the language, but any lesson that you learned today. Erika, can you start?
Sure. I love this topic. And for me is I today I learn about I think more about the comfort zone and to get my confidence in my job. And I always think about what other people said. So it's not only about my opinion. When you share the experience, the point of view with me, I start to think other things that I didn't think before. So for me, it's grateful. Thank you all.
Thank you for being here. And what about you, Osvaldo? What did you learn?
Oh my, I was preparing to answer the question number 6, but your question is interesting because I really appreciate to hear all of you share your experiences here, like Erika said. I totally, I totally agree. Almost I think that Erica said today, because it's important. I think it's important to think about these topics. It's to improve ourselves and think about that is important for us to recognize us uh, what I want to do, I need to do, and when I want to achieve some goals. Um, and it's much more about language. It's about our behavior, our common daily behavior, that almost of the time we are not able to think alone sometimes. So it's important, and I'm grateful and thankful to hear all of you, and thank you for your patience and to be here, everyone.
Thank you guys for being here. That was an amazing conversation, a deep topic that we, as Osvaldo said, we don't usually talk about, but here we can do that and see each other's point of view. So it's very nice. I just sent the service link on the chat. So if you guys can just open it and leave a comment there telling how was the conversation for you. And if you have any suggestions, that would be amazing. And so we know what we can bring in the next conversations as themes and all. And that's it, guys. I hope to see you soon. If you guys want to be with me again, I have two immersions on Tuesday. It's 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. So you guys are more than welcome there. I hope to see you soon and see you.
Thank you.
See
See you.
you.
Bye
Thank
Have
bye.
a
you.
nice day.
You too.